Hey all, Todd here, and welcome back to another Wellness Talks. Today I'm going to be doing a values exercise to help you to build better connection with your partner. Now I have a similar presentation that goes into this for the individual, and you can find that here. But for this one, I'm going to be playing around and taking it off in a little bit different direction. And it starts by just simply asking a question. Who do you admire? I typically do this with those that I'm working with for a variety of different reasons. These are three of the main reasons why it would be important to play around with this particular exercise. In doing this, we're actually going to drill down into what your personal values are. And if we can know what our personal values are, then it gives us some idea, some guidance as to what direction that we should go to when we're in those moments where things are challenging, where there's an argument, where things are not lining up correctly. In other words, instead of just trying to focus on the things that we wish that the other person wasn't doing, or the situation, or why do I always react the way I do, instead of trying to get rid of those things that we don't want, it actually gives us a general sense of that which we do want. It gives us a direction to move in those difficult situations. Knowing your values is a key component after you've done something like the stop routine, where you step back, you take a breath, and you observe what's going on internally and externally, and then you proceed based upon the values. It's the pivot point. It's the once I'm actually able to get some space from my personal experience, my thoughts, my emotions, the sensations happening in my body. Once I'm aware of that and I can get some distance, then I can just slide over, and what can I do here that's actually going to move me in the direction of what matters. The other reason why I like to utilize this with couples is because once each person has a list of their values, it then becomes possible to see where is the overlap, and there should definitely be some overlap. And then it provides for you a space where you can both agree as a couple in situations like this. Let's keep these things in mind and move towards that. What can we do as a couple that'll move us in this direction? Is what I'm about to say, or what you're about to say, or what we're about to do moving in this direction, or is it just more of the same? Is it just more of what we've always done? So go ahead and grab yourself a sheet of paper. It doesn't have to be big. What I'm going to have you do is just write down a person's name. So across the top, somebody that you admire. Just think of somebody. Parent, grandparent, a teacher you had, somebody that you worked with, a boss you respected, a movie character, a person out of a book, a person from history. Doesn't matter when. Just in your mind, just come up with somebody that you admire and write that name down, left-hand side, top of the page. And what I'd like for you to do then is write down 3 aspects of this person that you admire. And if you can, try to do it in 1 or 2 words. So this person was courageous. The person was conscientious, was reliable. Whatever it happens to be, write those things down. Highly supportive. On time. Kept his or her word. Just whatever comes to mind. 3 things. Then on the right-hand side, so that's on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, what I'd like for you to do is to go ahead and write down the actions that this person did that demonstrated what it was that you admired. So if you said integrity, the action is that they showed up, even though it may have been a challenge to follow through. Or perhaps the person was kind, and they put their arm on your shoulder. Or they'd look you in the eyes and say something nice. What was it that they actually did? Now, if it's possible, what I'd like for you to do then is to go ahead and pick 1 or 2 more people. The more people you do, the more of those components that you admire you'll have on the paper. And then in the left-hand side, you'll have a bunch of different ways that you would have known that this is exactly what they were doing. This is who they were being at that time. What's really great about this exercise is that when you're done with this, in front of you, these things that you admired, those are your values. Those are things that matter to you. This is how you want to be in the world. And you may not always be very good at it. You can admire it, you can value it, even though it's not something you think you're very good at yet. So it gives you a general sense of what you should be doing in those difficult moments. It gives you an idea of what direction you need to move towards. What's the action supposed to be? What can I do here that's going to be workable, that's going to be useful, lines up with this? And if you've taken the time afterwards, and I highly suggest that you do, you share these with your partner. Agree on the ones that are most important to the both of you, so that in those moments you have something to guide you both through it as well. Now, on top of that, part of the reason why I was having you write down how it was exemplified, what did they do, is that you also then have a list of different actions you might be able to do in that situation that you're having a difficult time with when it comes to communicating with your partner. At the very least, you'll have a general structure that you may be able to adopt and bring over. Okay, so in a situation, I can't do it quite like this, but maybe I could do this instead. So if you haven't already, just go ahead and run through this one more time, write them down. You can do this on your own, you can do this together as a couple. You can even do it about your partner. What do you admire about him or her? And then be sure to share it with them afterwards so that you have this little extra point that you can move towards, direction you can head towards. When you find yourself in a challenging situation, so that it becomes possible to connect better with that person. I hope you've enjoyed this. Make sure you like and subscribe to get more like this in the future. And until the next time, may you be well.